Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So in today's video, as you can tell by the title, we will be talking about another large storm that will be occurring across the United States this upcoming week. So this one will be also very significant. It won't have as much snow as the previous storm did. If you remember, there was a pretty good storm threat with this. Pretty good snow threat with the one that just passed. It's still occurring across the Northeast right now. In fact, the one really the same winter storm, that I kind of was talking about is right now actually bashing a good portion of Washington, D.C. and District of Columbia with some nasty storms. You can see some of them are pretty big, pretty slow, so some pounding of roadways and whatnot is definitely possible. Notice, right, New York, just north of New York City, we are seeing some nasty thunderstorms. Not too severe, but definitely, a risk is there. And notice that this line stretches all the way down into the deep south, and yeah, I mean, a lot of activity with the one that's moving away. In the wake of this system, there's a lot of chilly air. In fact, you have a lot of frost advisories as far south as southern almost Wisconsin, northern Michigan, the same areas where there was an EF3 tornado in Gaylord, Michigan. Right, so a very powerful storm, which is right here, that city, and now you have freeze warnings, right, to 29 to 32 degrees expected. So again, nothing like the Midwest with those temperature swings. Denver, right? I mean, today you're probably already very warm, but I think you saw anywhere from 1 to 5 inches. Obviously, closer to the mountains, it was much more. I think the maximum snow report that I saw was close to 2 feet, which was pretty incredible. And you could see that this is what the National Weather Service map looks like. Across the Northeast, we do have, again, that severe thunderstorm watches and warnings issued for that remaining cold front. And we do have another system, the new one that's coming in. And let me start talking about this one. So let me now go here back to where I was at the beginning, right? So this is today's threat. You can see that, again, it's mainly that cold front that's kind of dwindling. Tomorrow, Monday, is the first day of that new system, or I guess the weather that is brought by the ingredients that will form eventually this big storm. And as we move forward into Tuesday, you can see it's a slight risk further a bit towards the north and east. It's pretty small though, so at least that's it. At least that's good. And then notice on day 4, it's also a small area, even further towards the east. So as I put this onto a weather model depiction, I want to kind of watch this with you guys. And notice that what we do see is this cold front that was here, or is right now across the Northeast. It gets out of the Northeast. It does kind of stay around the south. We do see this high pressure with that chilly air. And by the way, you can see some of these anomalies are rather impressive for a really good portion of the country. And but that gets pushed out. We have a new flow from the south. Notice that's where tomorrow's severe weather could be occurring on Monday. And notice these storms get aggressive. The panhandles of both Oklahoma, Texas, some pretty nasty rain events as well. You can see some of them are pretty slow moving. So that definitely could help with the drought conditions. But also, if it's too sudden, it will obviously cause some flooding. And notice that this thing really starts spinning towards the north. I mean, it has a lot of moisture. There's not a centralized low pressure with it that's very strong. We kind of rarely see that with storms in the summer. That's more of a thing you see with winter storms or fall storms or spring storms. But this one nonetheless does have a weak one. We can see this thing is a multi-day event for areas that are impacted by this. It's a giant slug of moisture. It does end up developing kind of, a cyclone type look. It has a powerful cold front, a pretty strong warm front as well. A lot of rain kind of up out ahead of that. And by Wednesday, you can see this thing is occurring across much of the south in terms of that severe weather. The north in terms of really just heavy to moderate rain, several waves of it. And then notice this thing kind of slows down, kind of meanders through the country. This is already Friday, right? And it's still really just slowly moving through. Again, showers, thunder showers in some areas, even some storms, and especially across the deep south, some severe thunderstorms. And almost 7 days from where I am currently talking or making this video, right? So Sunday, next Sunday, this thing is still hugging the northeast coast, and it finally does move away. It is already pretty weak by the time it's moving through the northeast, but it's still producing showers, showers, cloudy conditions, and whatnot for Memorial Day weekend for a lot of these people. So that won't be the best, but at least a good portion of the United States for Memorial Day weekend is not horrible. What we do notice that we do have another system moving in, and again, as I was saying, this weather pattern looks pretty active as we push this forward. It's just storm after storm. And notice we do have another kind of cold blast of air from a little cold front that passes through. I shouldn't say little, has some pretty severe potential right there. Again, this is far out. I don't want to focus on this in detail. I just want to show you that the activity in terms of weather is active, and it will stay active. Notice another system. We have a large storm moving in on the Pacific. A lot of warm air out ahead of this one. You can see those lines pumping the warm air up. And you can see just many storms that are pretty powerful over the same areas. You're just time and over again. So definitely something that we will have to keep an eye on, and we'll keep our, I guess, weather situation pretty busy, these systems. But again, let's just refocus on this system. So again, it's pretty powerful. Obviously, as it moves to the north and east, it does become weaker, but it's still kind of this dreary event as it moves towards the north and east, so it becomes more annoying. But with all this slow moving rain, there definitely will be areas that pick up quite a bit of accumulated precipitation. Notice across Oklahoma, Texas, there could be amounts, especially under a given thunderstorm or two that's slower, or that just go right after each other. There could be several inches, maybe even approaching 6 inches or more in some areas. But notice a widespread kind of anywhere from 1 to 3 inches all the way into the northern plains as well. Well, really more of Minnesota and Wisconsin. South Dakota, North Dakota get impacted by a different system. But again, as I was saying for the past several days, the long range looks pretty generous with its rains across much of the United States. You can see much of the Northwest, really, right? Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, Washington, Oregon. It could be wetter across certain areas. It could use it, but at least it's not totally dry. Southwest definitely gets robbed of all its moisture as per usual, but notice the south, right, the north, the northeast, really southeastern Canada, southern Canada, southwestern Canada, everyone gets a fair share of this really good precip, so that's not bad. This is definitely not a horrible, thing, this storm system or whatnot. Other than the severe weather, which doesn't look too, powerful in terms of its risk, and the areas are pretty small, but definitely still a powerful storm. I want to show you what the European model shows. Notice that we do have, again, this is our now 30, so Monday, we do have the beginnings of this system across the south central here, United States. This is still the remaining part of the cold front. Right there, you can see it kind of dragging moisture from the south. Well, that one skedaddles out of here really quickly. This one really moves up and kind of just hangs around for quite a while, so that's definitely going to be annoying. But notice that tomorrow into Tuesday, we see these storms occurring, potentially several waves of it across areas like Texas, Oklahoma, the panhandles of Texas and Oklahoma, maybe even areas towards Dallas, Houston, large metros, again, eventually into Louisiana, Arkansas, into the north. It won't be probably nasty thunderstorms. Will be just kind of like a light, moderate to potentially heavy rain at times. So I guess that that's not bad. That's definitely good. You don't want to kind of have a flooding event. Thunderstorms are pretty cool, but if you have too many of them, they cause flooding. And a light rain is very beneficial. So notice that we do have this system again slowly move towards the east, west. You can see these bands are moving in every direction, right? It will be kind of one of those events where you have several, you don't have like a decisive direction. You can see these kind of move north, these kind of move south. So it'll be a bit messy, but the general direction of the whole conglomerate of precip is to the north and east. Notice, areas like Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan, you get quite a bit of heavy rain. There will be rumbles of thunder, maybe some lightning flashes, but it won't be like the severe type event whatsoever. And, obviously just with whatever comes with a regular thunderstorm will still be there. Lightning, wind, thunder, and whatnot. But notice this thing eventually does move through the Midwest. Again, South still dealing with this rain as of Thursday, Wednesday, though again, it is further east. It finally moves out of really Texas by Thursday or early late Wednesday, and this thing starts impacting the southeast, the mid-Atlantic, right? So if you got missed out by this past storm system in terms of rain, you could expect that you could get some precip from this one. And again, it kind of affects the northeast last, obviously, as it's moving to the north and east in that direction, and it kind of moves out of there. And again, just like the other models, the European keeps it active. Look, while this system's occurring, it brings in a pretty strong system towards the north and west. This system eventually pumps up a lot of warm air as it's further north. So again, this system will kind of keep temperatures more cooler. Could be pretty warm towards the north and east, as in your northeast is kind of out ahead of the system a bit longer than you could see like areas like the Midwest when they're still kind of stuck in this cooler pattern. This system comes out of nowhere, so it doesn't really warm up locations too much. The Northeast could warm up a bit more, especially towards the end right here. But notice this system really warms up a lot of the United States. This one right here, 7 days from today, and basically what that does is, well, it brings more chances for severe weather. You can see more of that severe type conditions. It's not those thunderstorms embedded in heavy rain. You're a bit more nasty weather. potential right there on the cold front of this system. The system develops itself, so again, it's a bit chaotic, but definitely nothing unusual for summer, if you will. Total accumulated precipitation. Let's just take a look at just from this system, the one I'm talking about. You can see some of these amounts, especially across the south, where you have several bands, 2, 4, 5, even bigger amounts, especially across areas that are already seeing a lot of rain from this system that will continue to. Some of these are a bit concerningly too high. But notice it affects a lot of the Midwest as well, into portions of southeastern Canada. And if you put this out very far out, notice it affects more of the United States, the systems after that. So we're pretty wet. I mean, and that's right for a large portion of the United States. Definitely the Northeast, according to the European, you could get maybe really New England, not really the Northeast. More isolated locations could not get as lucky, I guess. The Northwest, again, not horrible, right? You're still seeing precip, but pretty dry for Montana, a large portion of it. So not ideal, but definitely not a horrible weather pattern. Nothing really that is too awfully concerning right now. And let me show you what the 2-meter temperature shaded, or just the temperatures are with this. I don't think I can show you the temperatures from the European on that website. So let me just go back to Tropical Tidbits and show you the 2-meter temperature shaded. So actually, let me just show you the anomaly, because really everybody knows kind of what they're supposed to be seeing for this time of the year. So anomaly is basically, it shows us whether it's below or above average. So if you live in Kansas and you see below average temperatures expected in the range of 5 to 10 degrees, what that's going to kind of encompass. Probably 70s, maybe some 80s. Again, depending on which time of the year. I don't really know what your average is, but chances if you're living across Kansas, or whatever area, your average. So again, it is going to be cooler, especially with the new system kind of moving through very slow. So much of the central United States is cool. But again, as I mentioned, the Northeast could get in on a little bit of that warmer air. The Southwest will begin to heat up quite a bit. There could be pretty hot temperatures across, really, not even just the Southwest, majority of the West. That air does eventually move in as this slug of a system moves towards the east. This warm air does spill into the Midwest and into portions of Iowa, Illinois, more north. The Southeast maybe staying a bit more chillier with that rain. We're kind of tampering on that, but you can see potentially even heating up quite significantly according to the European model. And this does eventually move out after that storm system, and we do see another cool blast of air. But you can see that cold air, that warm air, is much more prolonged and much more profound than what we've been seeing thus far with even this storm or the past system. We did have one pretty big heat wave across the Midwest and the Northeast. The Northeast was more of this weekend. The Midwest was kind of, I think, 2 weeks ago now. But, I think we could see, again, more of this continued swings. As long as you see these big storms out ahead of it, there will be pretty warm air, pretty hot out behind it. It will be, not only cooler, but cooler than your average. So let's take a look at this, right? That's pretty warm for a good portion of the United States on Tuesday, May 31st, right? But then you can see those cool temperatures, 40s moving in. That's definitely gonna, I guess bring a little bit of a relief. So if you don't like temperature swings, I guess this isn't the best forecast for you. And notice, right? So this is next Saturday. Very, very warm for a good portion of the United States. The Southwest, really the South, Southeast, not terribly, but the Midwest, the Northeast, especially the South Central United States. But again, notice this does eventually start cooling up as that system pushes through, beginning in the northern plains. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see exactly on the details of that. But yeah, basically just prepare for this I guess large moving system across much of the Midwest, South Central United States as it spills into the Northeast and the Southeast as well. A lot of rain from that. Midwest, a lot of probably cloud cover, dreary conditions, a bit cooler, quite a bit rainy. Northern Plains, not as much. You'll be kind of on the western flank of this system, so not much precipitation. The Northwest, not much from the system that I'm kind of mainly focusing on, but as you did notice when I showed you the European model and the other models, as this system is kind of moving through the Midwest, another new one comes in onto the onto the Northwest. So that one's going to be the main focus of your attention. So again, right, it's here Thursday, Friday, moving in, or moving out this main one, but we have this new one that moves in. So that one's definitely something that we'll have to watch for, or if you live across the Northwest. And if you live across the Southwest, mainly a warm and hot week out ahead of you, and really no big precipitation chances, unfortunately. So that's the case for now. All right, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next episode. See ya. Bye.